Okay. Hello, everybody. First and foremost, my gratitude to David and Spoken World Online for giving me this opportunity. I joined this group back in May during the lockdown, back when it was Spoken Word Paris, and I've been pretty much a regular ever since then. It's been a real special bonus in my life because I've had the chance to share poetry and to meet a lot of wonderful people. And thank you to the newcomers. Muchas gracias por venir a los españoles. Okay, here we go. So, time and distance. Several of you here know that I certainly have other themes in my work, but time and distance are a couple that keep popping up now and then. Of course, all of us are subject to these themes in life, needless to say, but in my particular case, living abroad for so many years has had its imprint on my psyche. Taking root elsewhere and needing to find peace with this decision has had its strong echoes in my poetry. I'm going to read this evening 6 poems. And to top it off with a video that I did for the International Poetry Festival in Milan last May. So in the first part, I'm going to read 3 poems, the first 2 of which are from my debut collection, Suicide 1964. Yes, the year I was born. And this first poem is called Vienna. It's basically about a visit to a museum. Vienna. Now, it's just a matter of taking this handful of notes to wonder how they fit into my life. I would like to believe that I took them down for a reason. One that goes back to Virgil's Aeneid, a book I know I will never read. Something spoken by the goddess Juno. 1, the title of a painting. 1, the title of another. And 1, the brief note written on the back of a postcard in 1912. If I cannot bend the high powers, I will move the infernal regions. The castle in the sea. Autumn tree in turbulent air. And I will telegraph once I know when I will come. For the time being, I don't know how long I will stay. This next poem is the last poem, actually, in the book, Suicide 1964, and I would like to share this on the screen. In both blocks, I actually have one poem that I would like to share on the screen. So here we go. Am I ready? I hope. Here we go, okay? It is called, can you see? I hope so. It's called Bridges. And this is getting back to what I said in the intro. It has to do with finding peace with the fact that you suddenly live abroad and you take root, basically. It's after Gay Talese, The Bridge, 1964. Ironically, he wrote the book in 1964. Bridges. Taking into account the curvature of the heart and time, suspension towers prove to be at least 1 5/8 inches further apart at their summits than at their bases. And years will be taken into account as well, insomuch as time, in its wild indifference, will whirl, swell, and dilute corrode and oxidize the most sincere promises. Wooden docks, our first attempt to keep them alive, one on each edge of oblivion. Hands left open in a broken circle, prepared to receive boats full of fish, ships full of hope with a loop of rope, until they simply became part of our landscapes. The wood and the water naturally taking on other functions. The life that took hold, industrious barnacles and emerald boas that danced and danced. Our hands, content to go up and down as moons waxed in and out, getting used to solitude. Our motives on the docks turned inwards. Sure, we caught glimpses of each other's lighthouse every now and then, and that was enough. A fair second attempt communicating out into the dark. So every sea-going desire steered free of rocks might moor up and get home, just inland. An echo of home, the dusk-gone halo of oak, an aura of furry specters watching over Liberty Bell pools. And all it had taken was Marco Polo to grab onto others' hearts, lest they slip down through the dark, deep, and sharkless summer tag. Something held us, not just our hands gripped to the underside of the diving board, the very water. Beneath later docks too, initiating the faith that this will last forever. The buoyancy of anything goes that we dive into, clear with a clean distinction between itself and the muck. Something a pH test and chlorine could fix. An echo of home. Floodlights we'd keep on, I thought, to show off our front and backyard. Already safe and sound and not expecting anyone. The ones we blast on nowadays, detecting movement large enough and undesired to see what it's doing or wants to do, like break in, or desired movement, running up the path to the door. The lighthouse's sweeping cranes of brief cellophane girders on waves, foam-padded arms so incandescent and offering.
I'll do juice and Vici. I have my glass there from earlier. Yeah.
Offered us split seconds to hop on and hold on tight, for they might surely have swept us over to the other side, where all we had to do was let go and come to a soft, tumbling stop. Our choices, their dips and foamy crests, bridges like promises we'd mend the broken circle. And even though breath can be our most tender mercy,
Martin is doing a live Zoom reading.
Yeah. Please mute. Let's continue with Craig.
I'll just turn the volume down and sit there for a little while and let him know that we...
And even though breath can be our most tender mercy, so much goes unsaid as we talk once every blue moon. The higher the towers on the curvature of the heart, the more wind between our words, so much water away. Subtle math, none of us fully expected when we chose to first let go of each other. Trains would clamor over rails, crisscrossing girders, the urgent telegrams. News about, we will be coming, stop. Presents in hand, stop. Until even wrought iron crumpled beneath the weight, passenger trains on snowy December nights, locomotives screaming whistles, pulling coaches into the icy rivers below. An echo of home will reach our deathbeds, our hands still open, nerve endings twitching at legendary phantom ships we long since abandoned the hope of ever arriving. As they pull into our harbors and up to our docks. A familiar nocturnal city skyline, already outliving us. Red lights blinking at the top of skyscrapers 1,000 years from now.
Bravo.
And stop sharing, here we go, stop share. And finally, for this first block, I would like to share the first poem of my second collection, which is called Billy Goat. Cha-chan. And so this first poem opens the collection, and then after the break, the first poem after the break terminates this second collection. Okay, here we go. This is called Billy Goat, the collection, and this particular poem is called The Open Door. And speaking of time and distance, this is more about distance that sometimes comes between two people living together. The open door. This is when the evening sun comes through the open door. A couple of months worth. The house having twisted just enough, like an extreme yoga posture, and you're supposed to breathe, but I'm not sure what to do with my arms. It's been years since the thought of the door, apart from its practical use of coming and going every day, has made its way so abruptly into my line of vision. Like an old tree all of a sudden waving its blue branches. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Craig.